What's up, guys? It's your boy Nova coming back at you with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be pushing the Vortex and Void. So without further ado, let's get it. So first of all, I want to start off with a couple disclaimers. There are two different strategies you can use to push Valiant, which is what we're going to be doing. First one, you need 8 Demon Bells to energy feed into your ticks. I don't have 8 Demon Bells, so we're going to be going with strategy 2, which involves double Ignis. Same thing. You're still feeding energy into ticks, but it's a little more I don't want to say free to play friendly, but it's it's a little less in the whale territory, I guess. Second of all, do not try this unless you have, I would say, a minimum of 10,000 gems. From everybody I've spoke to and the people who have done it, they say that it takes them right around there, and that's using the first strat, which I think takes a little bit more of the range RNG out of it. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's go ahead and get into the heroes that we're going to be using and how we have them set up. So let's go ahead and get started with our boy Tix. He's going to be our main carry hero for this. He's going to be the one doing all the damage. So we're going to be pumping him up as much as we can. The whole goal of this strategy is to get him to do an active round 1 and hopefully nuke a couple people or at least get them pretty low, and then turn around and be able to do an active round 2. And hopefully at that point you're only left with 3 or 4 people standing, and then it's just kind of clean up duty from there. So we're gonna go ahead and set him up with a crit attack stone. He's also rocking a splendid Punisher. I feel like that's pretty mandatory if you're gonna be pushing Valiant. Even with the splendid, you're gonna come into a lot of waves where it's really hard to take people out, especially at the higher levels, and depending on if you have the shadow protection from the debuffs that are in there. So the Splendid Punisher is definitely a must. Also, we're going to be rocking a 2-2-3-2-2 setup on him. He is V4 for all the extra HP and attack, and the skill ups that he gets for his basic and active. And really, it's mostly just for his active. His basic, alright, you might get lucky and take somebody out with it, but mostly it's that active that's going to be doing like 90% of the work. Next up, we got Scarlet Queen. Her role here is not so much going to be damage, it's going to be debuffing the enemies to take more crit damage. That way ticks can pop off a little bit more, and also providing ticks with a 20% all damage bonus. I have her at V3, so she has that 20% instead of 15 at the lower void enables. And just want to make sure that she's faster than ticks and she's running energy. That way she can do her active right away and get that debuff out before ticks goes. Next, we got Ignis. This is going to be one of 2 Ignises. I definitely want to have one at E5 because this is going to be how you get Tix to get his round 1 active. You want to go ahead and make her faster than Tix, which at Tix being V4 gets a little tricky because especially if you're running this skin on him, because you need to run a speed HP stone with speed enables, and if you're not using Tix's skin, then that will be fast enough. But if you are, then you're also going to have to void enable her. I had a few extra stellar shards in the 10-star puppet, so I just went ahead and V1'd her. That way she was a little bit faster. But if you don't have that, that's perfectly fine. You can just take Tix's skin off. But the general premise is you get her a little bit faster than Tix. Make sure she's got energy, so she does a round 1 active and feeds all that energy into Tix, so then he turns around and does his active round 1 and nukes, hopefully nukes a couple targets. Then we've got our 10-star Ignis. Her role in this party is literally just energy feed to Tix. So you want to put her in slot 1 And I'll go over the positioning here in a minute, but you want to put her right in front of Tix. That way, you know, after Tix does his round 1 active, then the enemies go kill her, and she sacrifices all of her energy into Tix, and then he's got an active for round 2. It really doesn't matter what gear or anything that she has. She's literally just there as a sacrificial lamb. Then we got our boy Rogan. He's just there for buff support. He's there to give your Tix some more crit and crit damage and whatnot. As far as gearing and stuff goes, it's not all that important because you just really want to get him to get around 1 active off. Hopefully give Tix bloodthirsty so he hits a little bit harder on that first active, and then, you know, survive a round or two for a couple extra buffs. But if he doesn't, I mean, it's not usually not that big of a deal. Mostly what's going to kill your run is if Tix dies or gets CC'd or energy drained. If that happens, it's an automatic loss anyway. So whether Rogan is around till, you know, round 3 or round 7 or whatever, it doesn't really matter. The one thing I will note that I found a lot easier that helped me and might help, you know, some of you guys is making his HP a little bit lower than Carries or Amon Ra's or any of the support heroes that we're going to go over here in a second, because when later on when you start, you know, encountering some Russells and stuff like that, the dazzle will go onto him instead of Carry. And when Carrie gets dazzled, it sucks, obviously, because she's not getting her energy drains out on 4 people. It's just the 1. So Rogan only attacks 1 person anyways. Doesn't really matter if he gets dazzled. So that's the only thing I'll say as far as his gearing. You know, I ran him with energy so he can get that round 1 active and hopefully give bloodthirsty to Tix. But I would imagine you could probably, you know, set him up with whatever. He's really just there for more buff support for Tix is all. Now, these next 3, I interchanged them quite a bit. I started off with Rogan, but his usefulness, the second one, and maybe, you know, only at 10 star, but it just fell off pretty quickly. Later on, when you're not able to just nuke the crap out of people and just kill them in 2 rounds, and they're still, you know, surviving those Tix actives, he gets less effective. So that's where Amon Ra and Carry start coming in. And if you've got a Cruz, I know he did some good things for me as well. I only had him at 10 star. So, I mean, just put a Rui Scepter on him and hopefully you get lucky, right, with him. But with Carrie, her role obviously is just energy, just disruption. She does next to no damage. It doesn't really matter. Tix is going to be doing, like I said, 99.9% of the damage. You just want to get those snipe those actives from Garuda and other carries, right? That's going to be the biggest thing for her. Also, Amon Ra's, you know, preventing those shields is a big deal, because otherwise it completely nullifies Tix's active for the most part, and you'll probably lose that round. And we got a girl, Amon Ra. She's just there for the shields, basically, and hopefully maybe get a lucky healing curse on a Garuda or an Ada or something. Maybe every once in a while she'll get a Petrify off on the front line as well, but mostly she's just going to try and make your team last 1 more round than they normally would. Other than that, she doesn't really provide much else. She could probably be swapped for another support hero. Like I said, I did swap her in and out with Carrie and my second Rogan and Cruz, but it just kind of depends on who you're going up against. You have to make a decision on, you know, who you think is going to help your team for that wave the best. So a couple quick notes. Definitely in the first parts of Explorer, you want to be saving your signets as much as humanly possible, because you're definitely going to need them later on. This void radiation, the weakened attack and stuff really hurts Tix is damage output, and how well he's able to burst people down. So having that for those level 385 and 390 enemies you're going to be fighting in area 2 and 1 is going to be crucial. So definitely want to save them as long as humanly possible. Now you're going to get to a point where you just absolutely need it to pass a certain node or whatever. That's fine. Just use them sparingly. all you need them for is the shadow one. It doesn't matter if you've got, you know, Void or Abyss, Fortress, does not matter. You really just, the whole goal is to get ticks to pop off. And, you know, him doing 60% less damage obviously is counterproductive to that. So, you know, when you come up a wave where you refreshed it, can't seem to get a team combo, you know, good team combo, and you just absolutely have to use one of those signets, go ahead and do it. Just know that you want to be as frugal with them as possible, because towards the end, I ran out, and my last 3 planets that I did, I had to buy a ton of attempts to just try and RNG it. And if you're able to save a few early on, definitely recommend that. Now, as far as positioning goes, like I said, you have to set them up in a specific order for this to work, right? With the other strategy where you're using the demon bells to feed energy into ticks, you have a little bit more freedom of who you put where. You really just want Ignis behind ticks, and other than that, you can swap people around. With this one, it has to be set up in a very specific manner. So you're going to start off with having your 10-star Ignis in the front. The reason for this is when she dies, she gives energy and heals the closest party member to her. Well, that will be ticks in this scenario, because you're going to put him in slot 2. And then behind him, you want to put your second Ignis, and this one you want your E5 Ignis. This is the one that's going to do the round 1 active and feed energy into him, and that's how you get the round 1 or round 2, you know, boom boom from ticks. Now past that doesn't really matter. I put Scarlet Queen Alora behind Ignis just in case, you know, ticks happen to fall down, which, like I said, that's a 99.9% chance you're going to fail anyways. But in the off chance that, you know, it's close and, you know, it's just, you know, my Ignis and my Queen and stuff against one of their people, maybe I'll get lucky with you know, her feeding energy into Queen, and she gets an active off that does some damage. I never really noticed this really having much an effect, to be honest, so I don't think it honestly mattered. But it's really just the first 3 spots that you want. You want your 10-star Ignis, your E5 ticks, and then your E5 Ignis that's faster than them. Past that, you know, it's up to you. Alright, so let's go through a couple fights. I'm going to play the first one just on 1x speed. That way you can kind of see what's going on and get an idea of, you know, how this whole thing is supposed to work. So you're going to see here ticks. You're going to see here Ignis get her active off, feed that energy into ticks. He's going to go ahead and pop off, and boom, there's that round 1 active. Then we go through, they do their attacks. Now the animation kind of is annoying from all the counterattacks from Scarlet Queen, but it is what it is. Then Ignis dies, and that went ahead and gave ticks all the energy for round 2. Boom, he pops off and takes out half the team, right? So that's the whole goal of this setup. You just want him to nuke as much as humanly possible. You're not gonna, if you're going to round 4, 5, 6, it's, you know, almost assuredly a loss. You really need to get them down by, I'd say, around 3 or 4. You might get lucky, like on this first fight. You know, I kind of get a little bit lucky here where I don't have any energy drains or anything on ticks, so he's able to go ahead and pull out the victory. But, you know, if one of those carries would have got the energy drain off on him, that might have not ended so well. So let's go ahead and do another one here. I'm going to do 2 times speed on this one. So you see that round 1 active, took out that Bell Rain. You see that Bloodthirsty on him. It, you know, it makes a big difference, and he gets energy drained right here, which is unfortunate. That round 2 active probably would have secured us the victory, but now it looks like we're probably going to lose this one. Unless he can get this active off right here. Nope, Garuda nukes him. So, yeah, as soon as he's dead, no point in watching the rest of it. That's an automatic loss, right? Alright, same thing right there. Took out the Bell Ring with round 1. Oh, okay. healing curse from Amun-Ra took ticks out there. So let's just go ahead and skip through the rest of these. So yeah, you kind of get an idea of what's going on, and you know, how we're gonna go about doing it. So we're just gonna go ahead and play through these, and then I'll see you guys in a second. So, just kidding. I took a break to eat some dinner and play with the kiddos and stuff. And apparently when I went back and finished it, the last recording didn't save. So, rip. Anyways, we did it, guys. As you can see, we've got the rewards here in the mail. So, give you guys a general idea of, like, you know, what it takes to do the push. Like I said, it cost me right around 15,500 gems to give you guys an idea. So you could probably stream that line that a lot by having the demon bells and doing a little bit better job of saving your segments. I had to use a couple a little bit earlier than I wanted to. So yeah, hopefully this was a little bit informative and helpful for you guys for your own pushes. Save you a couple gems from some of the mistakes I made. So go ahead and smash that like and subscribe for me if you could. Really helps the YouTube algorithm. That way we can keep making some more videos and stuff and having some fun. All right, I'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace.